Hey guys, it's a rainy, beautiful day here in northern Maine. We are up exploring around Hedgehog Mountain, and I wanted to show you the old ranger cabin. It's going to be right up this way. So what I'm doing in between showers is hiding under spruce trees. So it's going to take me a little bit to get there, but you guys won't even notice it. So I noticed an old barrel ring there, like a wooden barrel. And then here it looks like an old wood stove cover. You can see that. It's pretty pretty, huh? Like a wood stove door there. You can see some paint cans up ahead. Back in the day, they just kind of chucked it out in the woods and hoped it would decompose. Eventually it will. But for now, it's out here for me to find. I love that crest on there. It looks beautiful. So right here you can see the actual trail that goes up to Hedgehog Mountain. And I'm just noticing some puffball mushrooms that I'll show you guys here in just a moment. It would have been smarter for me to bring my umbrella so that I had something to put over the camera, but I did not do that. We've got a bunch of puffballs here. Looks like some old turkey tail. Oh, we've got some puffballs up here too. These are the ones that when you poke them, the dust comes out. When I was a little kid, I used to love poking those. Kind of getting out of the woods a little bit, so I'm getting covered in rain here. So we won't be able to... Oh, wow. Oh, I hope my camera caught that. That was a beautiful, beautiful hawk. She just flew right in front of me from that tree there. Whew, that was beautiful. Cool. Got some little brown mushrooms. It's too big for me to get out. I don't know what that is, or what that says. Looks like some type of dugout there. Could have been a porta potty because it's about the right distance from the old ranger shed. And up above is the actual well. I can show you that. If you hear the cars going by, the road is just about as far as you can see past the trees there, so it's not too far. But this hole makes me think it could have been where the porta potty was, or outhouse is what I mean to say. You can see it's definitely dug out, and it looks like these stones here were made to kind of level it. So my guess is that was the shitter. And just found what looks like the remnants of where he left his cans and bottles, whomever tended this place. So I can see some cans left over. With some oil cans and some bottles. Some more paint cans. Some really cute little mushrooms growing in here. And a fly that just flew out. Looks like something's been up here, and I'm guessing it's whatever lives in this little tunnel here, because they've been eating the tops off of all these parasol mushrooms. You can see the top of that one's been chewed off. And check this guy out. Pretty cool. What would that be? Is that dynamite, guys? What the heck is it? It's got a plug or a cap in the top, sealed on the bottom. No idea what that is. I need to get a good picture of it because I'd like to find out. Interesting. I just saw it poking out of the ground. Oh, there's another one. Very interesting. No clue what it is. I literally just walked into this. Some type of cable that goes up about halfway up this tree. And these are what the mushrooms look like that were probably eaten over there, because all that was left was the stalk of them. So something has been eating these. One of the forest critters must really like them. We've got some Jack in the Pulpit seeds right here. Notice that I was chipping my fingernail polish earlier today. This is the Jack in the Pulpit seed. It goes from a green to a red. I wonder why a lot of the paint cans are around the base of trees. It's just kind of weird. A lot of them that I've found are around the base of trees. Got the remnants of an old bottle there. Still just kind of poking around the area. We'll go check out the building here in just a little bit. All right, so this is a peek at the Forest Service building up here that was active for quite a while on Hedgehog Mountain. I'm pretty sure the 80s they stopped using this, but I can't be sure. So let's get a closer look. I'm going to have to pause because right now I'm under a little canopy of trees, but as soon as I step out, my camera's going to get wet, so I'm going to pause this for a little bit. All right, so we're going to head on in once I get rid of this spider web. Sorry, guy. Now there are parts of this floor that you can actually see through, so I've got to be really careful. There are definitely a couple animals in here that I can hear. There's the old kitchen sink. And the beds, I'd imagine they slept as many as they could in here. Looks like there's a couple of beds. Actually, I don't know. I wonder if there was one guy or two guys or if it was a family. It looks like this was an addition because it looks just a little bit neater. There's a sliding door, it looks like there. Some really cool windows. See if I can open this. Nope. Okay, it's screwed shut. So that is the Forest Service quarters on Hedgehog Mountain. or what was. There's a neat little shed out back here. I'll show you that next. And I want to say that the shed was probably the first building, and then they built this afterwards. If you go out around to the left of the building, you're going to see where the well is. I think I can still see it. It's out here somewhere. Jeez, oh, there it is. I was going to say I don't want to fall in it, but... So that's why I think that that other spot was where the porta potty was, or the toilet. Not sure why I want to keep calling it a porta potty. So this is the other building, and it just almost seems like this one was built first, but maybe not. So this one was turned into like a utility shed, and it looks like there's an old smaller bed there. But I don't know, something just tells me that this was first and this was after. You can see the construction on the back has those old logs, and that's what led me to believe that this was probably the first living quarters. Parts of an old phone line there. You can see where they would have had the glass insulators. You can see part of an old stovepipe there. Some old bottles. Kind of everywhere in the woods around here randomly is memories of a time gone by. There's another old barrel ring, like a wooden barrel. Those are really cool to find out in the woods if you get lucky enough to find one of those that haven't decayed completely. There's a picture of both of them there. This is a really cool hike if you guys ever come to Eagle Lake. Hedgehog Mountain is not a very strenuous, it is straight up in certain places, but it's not a long hike. So the area that is strenuous isn't as bad as you'd think. And a nice green bottle there. And the rest of the other side of the building. We'll go up a little closer here in just a minute. I love finding these old tins. I think it was tobacco. Yep, Prince Albert tobacco. How cool is that? Long burning something cigarette tobacco. I wonder if I can clean that up any with this rainwater. Probably not. Actually, let me use this moss. Look at that, you guys. How cool is that? I've never ever found one that actually has color on it still. I think I want to take it home. I have some antique stuff that I keep on my porch, so it's outside, so I don't have to worry about it being gross in my house. I think I'm going to keep that. That is so cool. Actually, 2 seconds later, I thought better of it. I am going to just leave it here for someone else to find. But I'm going to leave it how I found it, so that the leaves can help preserve it. Eee, that was so cool. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll get out on another mushroom hunt, because after this rain, and it's supposed to rain a bit tomorrow, should have some mushrooms poking out. Sorry guys, that was a tongue twister for me for some reason. So there are a lot of nails sticking up out here, and I do not want to get tetanus, so we're going to go ahead and not walk around too much. I can kind of show you. You see where I feel like this was part of a house before, and actually there is a bed frame there. I think this was the first house. Oh my goodness, I see a little Sweet William. These things seed themselves pretty much, but it's an annual. And got some beautiful little Sweet William out here. Let me see if I can focus on it. There's another one right there. So this is all Sweet William, but it looks like it doesn't flower very well. I can see a couple little seed heads there. But this stuff is really pretty. I love Sweet William. It's one of my favorite flowers to grow. And you can usually find them around old homesteads because it used to be grown quite frequently. And here we've got more of the cans and a couple bottles. Got some older ghost pipe here, the remnants of what was in there. A friend of mine that is not into mushrooming told me he thinks these look like French fries, which they do similarly a little bit. So I still haven't found any actual porcinis yet. So in case you watched one of my recent videos, I thought I had found some. When I got back home, I realized that it wasn't quite the right type. It wasn't a poisonous type, but I chose not to partake in it. Got some rosy brittle gills. These are a Rasula that I see quite often. And you can see why they're called brittle gill, because they just kind of shred and tear apart. More paint cans at the base of trees, way far away from the home. I wonder what lives in there. Some really cute mushrooms at the base of it. There's gotta be a critter living in there. Looks like these are maybe sulfur tufts. I'm not positive. I think that the sulfur tufts have a more brown center, and there's another type that isn't harmful, and they have less of a brown center. Is this staining blue? I'm pretty sure I just found a psilocybin mushroom actually, because that is for sure staining blue. I'm going to bring this one home and see if I can pin down what type of mushroom that is, because it's definitely staining blue. It could be a type of psilocybin. Now, no, I don't take mushrooms. I just think that it's a neat thing to have, and I'd like to keep some on hand. It's definitely staining, so we're going to check those out, bring them home. No, I'm not going to ingest them. Since I didn't prepare to actually harvest any mushrooms, I don't have anything on me. I'm actually going to just take one of these striped maple leaves and I'll put the mushrooms in that. That way I don't have to worry about touching them too much myself. I don't need to be tripping. I just want to see if that's what they are so that I know when I'm looking for mushrooms. So bringing it home, it will help me figure that out. So I only grabbed a couple and I left plenty to sporulate. Park ranger probably came up here and tripped balls. Just kidding. Probably planted these spores. Check out this stump. That is cool. The mushroom caught my eye, but then I started looking at the colors of the bark there. How neat is that? And that's that parasol that some critter has been devouring out here. Don't quote me, it might not be a parasol. Just don't quote me, guys, on anything I say. Oh, shoot. I know enough to get myself in trouble, I always say. But so far, I haven't gotten in trouble with mushrooms. Partly because I don't eat them. The one mushroom that I am going to eat is the black trumpets that I harvested. And I'm also going to try the hedgehog mushrooms that I also harvested. So I'll have a couple to try. I might change my mind on mushrooms. This is really cool. You've got the top ring, the middle ring, and the bottom ring, all part of a barrel. So the barrel must have literally just rot right there. More paint cans by the base of a tree. It's so funny to me. I'm sure it wasn't intentional. I'm sure the trees grew up from the spots that they threw these, but it's just funny. Some more of those French fry looking mushrooms. Club fungus. And an old Budweiser can. I'm gonna go across the trail here on the other side. I'll be right over there. Hold on. For you, it'll be a second. Alright guys, well I think that's about the end of the video. I've made it back to the parking lot. Old Mitzi's there waiting for me. If you don't know, Mitzi is the name of my car. And I'm just going to make my way back down. I'll show you a couple of the mushrooms that I find along the way. But that is about it for today.